What's up, people? Matthew Belcher, APEBUILT.com. We got another MV4 variant here. We wanted to give you guys an overview on, kind of describe how we did this build, so check it out. All right, people, so looking on the powertrain here, MV4s, we can put diesels in them, we can put full-size, big blocks or small block Chevy motors in here. This one has a Mopar 360 in it, which is a 5.9 liter. The transmission is a 42RE, which is also a Mopar transmission, came out of the Jeep Grand Cherokees, I think 95 to 98 year model. From there back, we've got an Atlas 2-speed transfer case. Atlas they're pretty hard to beat, they're a solid unit. Because it's got a 360 V8 in it, we decided to go with 1410 drive shaft U-joints, and that also kind of determines by how much horsepower you're pushing, but also what axles you're running, depending on how much beef you want in your drive shafts there. We've got a Griffin aluminum radiator, dual electric fans, Warn winch, PSC power steering system, full hydro on this one as well. We do that on all our buggies mainly just because it's so easy and one finger turn no matter what type of bind you get in. Some guys don't like that on the road for driving, but once you're used to it, it drives like butter. Hydro boost on here. When you're stopping a 40, you definitely want some extra power in your brakes, so we do hydro boost on pretty much every buggy we do. We've done one with vacuum boost, but it's just not solid like that. So moving on back here after the powertrain, also we put some little lights in here under the engine compartment lights. Gives you visibility when you're working at night. We did a full glass, double tempered automotive glass, so it is not Lexan. It's not a plastic material. It is double tempered safety glass, and it works very well with these windshield wipers. This guy wanted a ZJ grill, so we kept to the original Jeep look, similar Jeep Grand Cherokee. We had rigid headlights, rigid light bar up top, rigid side mirrors. Those are also very bright. They have turn signal indicators on them, but also there's a switch so you can turn the LED light on them, and man, they're bright. It gives you a good side projection, very key. It's a nice unit. We built this guy a front bumper. He wanted D-rings. He wanted also a 2-inch receiver hitch so that he can plug something in, and should he want that. Coming down here and looking at the axle. So this one, we've got a 14 bolt up in the front end. It's custom built. It's a crane axle assembly, so it's been re-sleeved with 1/2-inch thick DOM steel tubing. You got a 3/8 thick crane diff cover on here, and all this is 188 tubing, full hydraulic steering. This customer wanted bump stops as well, which a bump stop is basically a protection for the shock, for the coilover. You'll bottom out your bump before you bottom your coilover. It kind of protects it. And then you've got the limit straps, would do the opposite on the opposite end of the shock. So basically, full compression, your bump stop will protect it. Full extension, your limit strap protects your shock. It's all about protecting that shock. Customer wanted Pro Comp Extreme MT2 tires, 40-inch size, and then the Hutchinson beadlock, street legal, DOT approved. Wide open design, aluminum links. It's 70/75, I believe. Solid links. The benefit of running aluminum links over steel is they provide that little bit of flex, so you can basically bend one, and the aluminum retracts a lot better than it does with the steel. Steel, when you bend it, it likes to hold its position a little bit more. We prefer aluminum links. Also, you save a little weight there. We put tree kickers on this one. It gives a nice step. This guy didn't want doors, so it provides a nice step. We left a little cutout for his boot to go in there. If you can see in the video here, I don't know if you need to zoom in or come in a little bit there, Chase. Up here on the, so we've got them right here. We've got them on the front, on the top, and all the way around the buggy. This guy's having an enclosure built for this thing, similar to kind of like a boat enclosure they do on boats, where you have the zip-up windows, or also old school Jeeps. So he's got a heater inside the unit, and he'll be able to drive through the winter and keep warm. We put these little tabs on there. It'll provide a good mounting location all the way around, so he can have a nice enclosure that'll pop on and off. If he doesn't want it in the summer, he can take it right off. Come around to the back here.
What size coil?
It's a 14-inch coilover. We run 14s on a lot of them. We've done 16 inches, but it just gets it gets to be a little much with the driveline angles. So 14-inch coilover, 12-inch coilover if you're working for something a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter, but on something this big, I recommend a 14 or a 16 if you can pull it off, depending on what axles you're using. Good question, Chase. All right, guys, so looking at the back of this thing, this guy's a bird dog hunter, so he's got a kennel. He brought us a kennel, Gunner Kennels, very nice quality kennel. If you're trying to buy something for a bird dog, I'd highly recommend it. They also sell these, it's basically an insulator. It keeps his dog warm. He rides in the back of this buggy, and man, is it a nice kennel. I would highly recommend this thing. Giving Gunner Kennels a shout out. If you're watching this, Gunner, holler at us. We did rigids. We kind of stayed true with rigid lights all the way around this thing, for the most part, not the tail lights, but he's got a rigid chase bar, also rigid pod lights on the side. If you look at this, also looking at the back of this thing, we put C-deck in it. So on the back, all the way through the center console, on the floorboards, it has C-deck all over it. It's used in marine grade applications on yachts and high-end boats. It is a very quality product. You can wash it out very easily with a hose. It's waterproof, and it just provides some damping, some cushion. It provides some luxury. I like it. Looking at the tail lights here, we got submersibles. I love these lights. They're completely submersible. Same with these ones. So it doesn't matter what type of environment you get in, they can get wet and they'll hold up to it. Coming down here, this customer, like I said, he's a bird dog hunter. He's trying to go out. He wants storage, so storage is key. We've got our cam locks here, and if you're not familiar with a cam lock, it's kind of like a Coke machine, high-end aircraft type stuff. Very hard to pick. You can't get into these things. We're using these on all of our buggies now for basically security purposes. But opening up this rear here, full storage drawer. You got 500-pound hinges on here, both the left side and the right side. So calculated, that's 1,000 pounds storage capacity. I don't know if I put 1,000 pounds in here, but that's what we're at. He's got an ARB strap. This is the 30,000-pound unit, and you can see it fits in here nicely. So you can keep his tools, all that stuff in there. Locks, no movement, nice closed. Keeps it nice and tight. Going down here, looking at the bottom of the buggy, or the rear end, basically, 2-inch receiver hitch. We're putting those on most every buggy. Same with these 4 holes. So you've got 4 on this side, 4 on that side. That's the same way we mount our front bumper and our rear bumpers. So it like I said, kind of keeping to the 2-inch hitch. It also provides versatility, so anything we mount to the rear, we can mount to the front. We've got a rear view camera on this thing. This customer wanted full visibility, so he's got an extra rear view camera in here. 7-pin trailer hookup, should he want to hook a little trailer up with it. Let's go take a look at the inside of this buggy here. All right, so looking at the front of this buggy here, we're putting adjustable steering on all of them. Depends on who you are as a driver. We don't like to make these buggies where it's one size fits the individual person. We try to make them versatile, so you can drive it, your wife can drive it, your kids can drive it, whoever can drive it. Seats are adjustable forward to back, so you've got full adjustment forward to back. He's got lumbar support in here. He's got seat heaters in here. He's got a full heater system, which provides defrost as well as foot heat in the front and in the rear. So once he gets that enclosure on here, he will be toasty. We love these winter shifters. We used a 32 RH transmission, I believe, or yeah, 42. It's a 42. All right, so yeah, 42 RH transmission in here. Like I said, it came out of the Jeep Grand Cherokee units. So we took a winter shifter for a 727 transmission and had to adapt it to make it work for this. We had to build some linkage and everything to make it work. But it's a very quality shifter. I love winter shifters. Good old wide open design. Shifter knob, it just adds that clean touch. Dual stainless cup holders up in the front. Gotta have cup holders in these units. Atlas transfer case control. So this is your transmission control. This is your transfer case. You've got front and rear, high, low. The benefit of an Atlas is you can put it in front wheel drive only. Front low, rear low. It gives you more versatility should you break a shaft and need to get out of the trail. We're running these IQ3 race packs. It gives you basically all kinds of stuff to it, so you can see, you can program them how you want with H2O, so your temp, your battery voltage, your fuel level, Time is done by GPS, speed's done by GPS, your RPM range. You can do lap times. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with these things. So we definitely recommend these. We're putting them in all the buggies. It's a nice touch. Start button. He's got ARB, like I said, ARB air lockers. So you got compressor switch, you've got front and rear locker, full heater control, and then you've got dimmer for the under dash lights. You've got a horn, ACR. So going back to the marine grade subject there, we're taking a lot of things from marine grade. So ACR, most boats, they have a ACR, which is a automatic charging relay. So when you get out on the bank or out on the water, you can still run your radio and have a good time and not have to worry about your start battery giving out on you. So we basically wire our buggies, or if the customer wants it, set up similar so that you can get out on the trail. You can run your, if you get your campsite and need to light up the campsite, you can run everything dead, and you still know that on your other battery you've still got a start battery, so you can still start your vehicle back up. You're not stranded out there. So when we do dual bank battery vehicles, always recommend an ACR. He's got running lights, headlights, cabin lights, bed lights, fan override, side lights, blank switch. Then he's got high beams, pod lights, overdrive, hazards, and then he also has an inverter in here. I forgot to mention that. So he's got a 115 or 110 outlet in the front. He has another 110 outlet in the rear. The inverter's back behind there in the glove compartment is technically what you'd call it, but we've got so much stuff, being the heater and the inverter and everything else is tucked back in there. It's not really accessible, but if you need to, you have an access panel right there. Same with here, Blue Sea Marine. Like I was saying, cigarette lighter, and then you've got your USB, your dual ports on both sides. So this one and that one is a USB. I don't know if you can see that in the video. It provides good hookup for most smartphones, computers, and all kinds of crazy stuff. It also has its own relay, so you can cut that thing on and off, which is a nice touch. Blue Sea, I'd definitely recommend them. We've got a little phone storage right there. When it comes to protecting and security of this buggy, dual cam locks, right? I talked about the security on those. All stainless steel piano hinges on everything that he's got. Stainless steel, definitely recommend. Weather stripping on all these. But say somebody wants to come and try to hotwire your buggy. This thing's got a battery switch. So when he turns this battery switch on and off, it basically kills power to the whole buggy. And that is concealed within here behind these dual cam locks. So security is definitely a concern when you're talking about high-end buggies like this. And we try to do this. There's also a couple more security measures I won't disclose on this video, but this is one of them, being a basic one on how you cut the power on and off to the buggies. We're doing that on all our buggies now. You get cam locks. You can either do double cam locks or you can do a single cam setup, which we'll show you on another vehicle we're about to finish up. All right, so looking at the rear seating area of this buggy here, I'm a 6 foot tall individual. Plenty of seat, even with a fire extinguisher here. These harness bars we put, he wanted harness as opposed to 3-point seats. I prefer harnesses as well, especially in the event of a rollover. Keeps you protected, but they kind of doubled as a no shit for your passengers. Storage compartment in the back here, very nice. Right here, he's got a banks, dual bank, so there's dual Optimas, dual Optima blue top marine grade batteries in this thing. So plenty of good cranking amps and plenty of long life. Optimas, I definitely recommend those batteries. If you're needing a set of those, holler at us. We've got some in stock and we can get them to you pretty quick. But he's also got this Mini Coda battery bank charger. It's a very nice accessory, and you can see that when you're selecting our packages for our buggies. But very nice, because all you got to do is take an extension cord, plug in your buggy, and you know that your battery's at top charge before you go out on a ride or a trail run. Same thing when it came to the battery banks. Same keys. Kept everything consistent. He's got access to his dual batteries right there. Should he need to do anything. There's also a battery indicator that shows him his percentage, so he knows what each battery bank is at. Blue Sea, we've got the 12 volt out. We've got 12 volt, basically a USB and a cigarette lighter. Most things switch into USB and those little charging ports, so it gives you both options. Also PRP seats. If you want to flip around here and look at this seat, beautiful product here. We've got the Italia stitching on here, So when you're ordering your buggy, we can basically pick your colors. This was a custom fabric we had shipped in. We can pick your colors, we can pick your stitching style, and get your buggy set up how you're needing it. I don't think I'm missing anything, people, but trying to give you the options on how we can set these buggies up for you guys when you're ordering them. We've got everything on the price list figured out. Check our website, APEBUILT.com, APEVehicles.com. We've got more coming to you. If you're needing a vehicle custom built, holler at us. We got your packages set up, APEBUILT.com.